Hi everyone, I'm Cecilia De Marinis, coordinator of the project DesignMatters, which is a project funded by the European Commission through the Erasmus Plus program. The project aims to foster a transformation in doctoral education in arts and design with a specific focus on diversity and inclusion. The general intention of the project is to create training formats, training modules to innovate and improve doctoral studies, not only for PhD candidates, but also for supervisors. And when we talk about diversity, it's important to mention that we not only focus and consider diversity in terms of social dimensions like race, gender, class, etc. But we would like to go beyond that, considering also diversity in terms of research, meaning diverse methods, diverse forms of knowledge, diverse formats that can start to access the academic context and that have been generally at the margins of the academic system.
Hi everyone, I'm Alejandra López Gabrielidis. I'm a professor here at BAU. I'm teaching aesthetics and art theory in the degree of design and fine arts, and I'm also the coordinator of the doctoral unit.
I'm very curious to ask Alejandra what the contribution of this project could be for the doctoral school at BAU.
Well, I think this is a very interesting project, actually, because the PhD at BAU is a practice-based PhD. We are discovering the specificities of a practice-based research, which is not so common as other types of research that are more theoretical. So there are a lot of things to think in terms of social inclusion, gender, class, race, as you said, but also this idea that the format of knowledge can be very diverse, and we have to acknowledge the academia. So I think this project can be very nurturing for the doctoral unit, and it can give us a space to think about this and to try to systematize or to advance some answers with the PhD students, but also with the PhD supervisors teams. I think this is very necessary to ask these questions and to have the time to give an answer and to have the space to experiment with methods, with dynamics, with publications, with collaboration with other institutions and disciplines. This is going to be, I think, very enriching for the doctoral unit.
Thank you, Alejandra. I think it's very interesting, this idea that you mentioned about this project being able to create a space for thinking collectively about these issues. I'd like to ask you what you think in terms of methods, meaning how do you think this project can really contribute to expanding the boundaries of the research methods that are used in this type of PhD?
I think that this is a very important subject in regards to what this project may bring to the PhD unit, because methods is like the tools we have and the ways we have to conduct a research. And normally they are already established by the knowledge conventions in academia, and what we are doing is trying to find singular methods that are very particular to each practice-based research, because if it's practice-based, it means that the practice is at the center, so we have to find which are the specific methods that are very particular to this type of practice. This means that we have to create new methods. We are forced to do it if you want to do research in this way. So I think, again, this project can bring a space for thinking critically about the methods and give the time and the space for the research projects to develop their own methods and singular methods, and then to be able, because we're going to bring some tools also to communicate this to a practice-based community with the publication and the toolkit that we are aiming to do as an outcome of this project.
continuing this thread on methods, I'd like to ask you if you can tell us what are, for example, methods, forms of knowledge, or formats that are innovative and new, that are starting to enter into the PhD school and that are generally more marginalized in the academic context, and if you would like to mention how this in relation to your school.
Actually, there are a lot of different types of research. There is a lot of diversity in terms of areas of research in the doctoral unit. There are some projects that are dealing with, for example, experimentation of new materialities, which has some ecological implications, and how to engage also with the communities around them. There are also theses working with inclusion in policy making and diversity in policy making, how design practice can foster marginalized groups and communities. There are also many research projects working with a critical engagement with design methods to try to create new ones that maybe are beyond the needs of the market and are more responsive to social needs. There are a lot of projects also working in the field of critical thinking about cultural institutions, that means design institutions or artistic institutions, or on how to create new imaginaries in artistic practice and in design, and what can be the political implication of that, but always from this perspective of the doing and the practice at the core. Or even if you are engaging with new materialities, trying not to start reflecting on them from an abstract point of view, but from your own experience in creating and experimenting with them, which means that you need to have time to fail many times in order to find something that may be interesting.
Thank you very much, Alejandra. I see that really the PhD school is a fertile ground where to dive into through this project, and that it can really so there is lots of potential to expand this project also beyond what we will be doing over the next 2 years, because there are many interesting elements and possibilities of new knowledge, new forms of knowledge, new methods that are really happening already, and we should really be able to make them visible and make them communicable to the outside world. So, thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia.